in just Oklahoma, and then it eventually spread nationwide how it is now. But that didn't start until like I went and like to Kansas City to meet like this group of people who were doing something similar. Met with them and like partnered with them eventually, and then eventually we ran our tournaments side by side, and then eventually we merged together, and then now we're just this one big like Midwest conglomerate, right? While we were doing GetRECt, like I was thinking of things that like I could incorporate into the company that would help me like practice those comm skills. So social media strategy, building the website user experience, and then that's when I like started really getting into it, and like that's when the awareness started coming to me too, that like there are actually video game jobs like across multiple industries, because I think that's like one of the biggest things to teach people early on, like anyone who's new to esports, is that it's not just professional gaming. Like that's only one part of esports, right? There's like several different industries. So like when people ask me like, oh, how do I work in esports? I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, what are you good at? What are your skill sets? I mean, you could be a data analyst, you could be like a comms professional, you could go into networking and engineering, like you could go into game design, like you could go into finance, like what do you want to do? Like there's so many different industries, right? People would ask me all the time, like, how'd you get to where you are? Like, how'd you get involved? Like, what'd you do? And like, it's like, I can give you this roadmap of everything like I did, like from point A to point B to C to D, and like connect all the dots for you, but like you have to go out there and do it yourself too. Like you have to find the opportunities that work for you, because like I'm in the comm space, like that doesn't necessarily mean that's gonna work for you, you know? Like you gotta find your own path, and like you have to actually like dive into those too. Like I tell people all the time, I was like, you need to volunteer in your community. You need to volunteer in your community. You need to sign up for those conventions that happen in Tulsa and like volunteer your time. Like I did that for 5 years. Like once you get into esports, like everyone knows everybody, so like you need to start learning who everyone is in your own local community, and then you need to branch out to like your state community, then your regional community, and like it just like it's this ripple effect, right? So, and that's what happened to me. It was like, yeah, I started just talking to all these people in Oklahoma, and then it was like, oh, I met some people from Kansas City because they came up to Tulsa for a tournament one day, and I like made friends with them, and then they're like, oh, hey, you should come check out our league. And I'm like, oh, wow, we have a league similar to yours, and like talked, and then eventually, you know, merged and made GetRECt bigger. Like it's just that ripple effect, right? Like that's my biggest advice is like go volunteer in your local community and start getting to know people ASAP.